Hello, everybody. Still got hat hair today, running in and out of my house today. Taking hubby to work, coming home, taking Mateus to school, coming home, and of course, it is like minus stupid. I sent a memo to Mother Nature. I'm not sure if she received it, but I thought I best let her know that we're done. We're done with this all, and we would like to see um not minus stupid anymore. And if she could get on that, and just did a little chat with 2022 and asking, it's been a little bit radical lately. Can you sort of slow it down a little bit for us, so we can catch our breath? So it's radical. It is radical out there. There's a lot of energy that's going on out in the cosmic, and I like to thank everybody who's joining me. I am syncing my YouTube with my Rumble with my YouTube, so I am on Rumble now, and so hopefully that when I'm on YouTube and it's broadcasting on YouTube, it goes onto Rumble. I'm not sure how that all works. I am learning. It is a big learning curve. So I am going on to Rumble. So there's that. That's happening. What else is happening? Looked at other platforms and stuff. There's so many changes that are coming in, and you really have to look at things. I know a lot of people have said, Mary, Mama, get on TikTok. I'm always hesitant about TikTok. It is something about being owned by the Chinese government has me kind of leery. I go on there and I watch things. I've posted a few things, but they are coming out with new regulations too to do dealing with astrology and tarot, which is very interesting. So, and I mentioned a few years ago that, I mean, when it comes to spirituality and different parts of spirituality, we're going to see it coming under attack. And I mean, we've seen them really coming under attack with religions and not, closing down churches and people allowing them to gather. We're going to start seeing a lot more when it comes to learning tarot, finding teachers who are going to be sticking through this, and especially when it comes to the astrology and finding different platforms when it comes to doing with this. Some of the stuff that you might end up seeing or finding is that depending how big the people are and how much money they got, will have their own platform, and if they have their own platform, there will be a fee for them. I know there was one astrology hub, but their fee was so high. It was ending up being, I don't want to say, but I know it was like over $20 a month. And to me, it was, yes, they have beautiful access to wonderful astrologers, but I can go onto their individual websites and the ones that I connect with and utilize their information that way if I feel so connected. So there are different ones that are going to be starting off on new platforms. I'm not there yet. One day, maybe. We'll see. So I have to look at platforms that are free, like Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Well, YouTube, I do pay a fee, but it's very minute to get the premium package. And same with Rumble, there'll be a fee if I want to start really becoming out there and making my stuff public. So that's where that's where a lot of things are coming in for a lot of ones, like even we MEWE. It's free, but if you want to start doing things on the platform, there's going to be a fee. So that's what you got to look into, and that's what you got to investigate. What is your purpose of going onto the platform? What is your purpose of doing what, on each of the platform? For me, it's business. It's getting the word out. It's me doing my thing, and Mama getting her stuff out there. And that's really the biggest reasons why I use a lot of these platforms and start to educate myself on them. Also educating on learning on how to promote your business without using social media. I mean, that's a big relearning curve, right, with all of that. And that could be learning about how to do your blogs. um, I do my blogs, but I find um I don't know if I don't get such a big response out of my blogs unless I do small groups, within sending out my blogs, like my meditation group. So interesting. So it's going to be interesting in how we are all going forward on the social media, and how we are all going forward on learning how to promote if you have your business, and what kind of business you have, and how you are wanting to let people know that you're out there, and how you connect. There's a lot that's coming in, a lot of information coming through today. So welcome everybody who's here. I didn't introduce myself. I sort of came in. So my name's Mary June Tracy, psychic medium, spiritual love of life coach, and an astrologer. For those who are on my Mary June Tracy page and you write a post, I don't even see that you're on there. Like, it doesn't come up. I only get it if you write a post, or if you're writing something, a comment on the Guru Mama page or YouTube. And I'm going to suggest for people to start going over to YouTube to start to follow me more so than on Facebook. So starting to move people over to YouTube more so, because slowly starting to move things in a new direction for myself and for my business. So, and finding things onto YouTube, and even onto Instagram, even though Instagram is owned by um Facebook. So, and it's going to be interesting how people are, especially in the spiritual community, how they are going to be getting more of their information out, or advertising out. So that's going to be an interesting um outlay. So even for people to find your favorite psychic, find your favorite astrologer, and finding that alignment with classes and things that you want to look at. So I'm just putting a bug in people's ears, because things are going to be changing quite a bit, especially over the next several months, when it comes to social media outlets and spirituality, and working with the spirituality. Of course, you're going to have the big wigs like, Hay House. And if you are a follower of Hay House and their people that are on there, but remember that they usually have free things, and then with the free things, wanting to draw you into their bigger packages. Some of them are going to be where everything's going to be a lot pre-recorded. To get them live is going to maybe cost you a wee bit of bucks to get them live. So yeah, lots of changes that are coming in, and I can feel the changes coming in. And especially as Mars is coming up to that, well, Mars is on the 22 degrees, and Venus isn't far behind. Vesta is also there too. So Vesta is the home and the hearth. And that 22 degrees in Capricorn is a very pivotal point for us. And I feel that 22 degrees, and I call it like a knot. It's something that's there that needs to be unwound. What is needing to be untied? What does that look like? And what does that feel like as it's being untied? This is where we start to look at where that is in your chart. Where's that 22 degrees? It is very powerful because of the Saturn Pluto conjunction that was there along with the sun. So there was a really big illumination that happened on that spot, right at 22 degrees. So there was a big illumination that happened in 2020. So we need to start looking at, where were you in January in 2020? What was what were the things that you started to work on? And this is this is not to do with the pandemic or anything like this. This is looking at before you even knew that, before you even, were maybe even listening to me, and you're just like, oh, mama's blowing stuff out her backside. This is starting to really look at what were the things going on there, because the last time a lot of this occurred at that degree, especially with Saturn and Pluto, was 1284 and 1518. So this isn't just little tiny blurps in, like the moon going by here. This is a big blurp. This is a big oomph that's happening here. And we're coming in right before, and this was like, in 2020, this was right before the lunar eclipse with Cancer. Because in 20 I'm trying to think of what year, 2021, we didn't have any full moons in Cancer. Like there wasn't, so 2020 was bringing in a lot of emotion, a lot of energies that needed to be looked at, revealed in how we are wanting to create our world. Now, there's a few things. I'm just going to go through each of the signs, all right? And I'm going to go through each of the signs and just sort of give you a kind of peek into where this will be occurring in your chart. This isn't your personal chart, people. This is how you do with the horoscopes, like you bring the horoscopes together, okay? So this is all right. Just I want to tell people an FYI, because some people are like, oh, she's giving me my personal. I'm not doing your personal chart. You got to book in an appointment for that. So just an FYI. So we have with Aries, where this is going to be occurring for you. This is a career and destiny. So where it occurs in your chart, that 22 degrees in Capricorn, has to do with your career and destiny. And looking at what's going on since 2020 to this date, what's been happening with your career? What's been happening with what you are wanting to do and your destiny, like the things that you want, paid or unpaid? What's been going on within your realm? Okay, that's for Aries. Now for Taurus, I mean, good news, baby. This is like your answers. This is your beliefs, your mind, your subconscious, looking for the answers, things that are good for you. Or are you over analyzing things? For you, Taurus. So my Taurians, sometimes it's like things are going, but is this really the way? I don't know. So there's might be a lot of questioning within self. So take a look at that, see what's been going on since 2020 within your life and the direction. Is this my beliefs? This is what I want, to go towards, right? So looking at your subconscious and looking at the answers that you're receiving, and are you overanalyzing those answers that are coming in? And as we go to Gemini, this is coming into trust. This is your financials. This is your taxes, issues, sexuality, coming into trusting. This might be having to do with a trust issues. This is about your trusting issues with shared energies, right? So who you sharing your energies? Are you trusting that person? Is there a trusting that's happening there? This has to do with, the walls that you might be putting up, and looking at things, the small bills. So, when it comes to Geminis, looking at the small bills, are you paying your bills? Are you falling behind in your bills? Right? So this is responsibilities with everything. And this is about fear of trusting. Something to do with death and dying, because it has, it is in that 8th house. So the death and dying for you. So Geminis, look at these things in your life on of the fears that are coming around. Are you hanging on to things so tight because you're fearful of releasing or letting them go? So starting to really take a closer look at that. And this is where also about 2 months before and 2 months after, with this energy as it came in. So 2 months before, even for, in October, November of 2019, what was going on? How were you feeling? Settled, unsettled? How are you dealing with, and I keep on getting day-to-day bills. Like, are you kind of like, okay, I'll pay that one later, or not observing them? And also when it comes to your financials, your taxes, your trusting with that. Cancer, relationships, diplomacy, balance in life. So looking for that balance. This is about alignment and unfairness. And this is might be like you might be finding like you're trying to get things balanced, but other things in your life seem to be unfair. Things don't seem to be exactly the way you want it. And you're wanting to give your all, or you're wanting to give that motherly energy, but yet there is something that is like the short end of a stick. You're putting it out, but you're not getting it all back in. So it's like a short end of a stick. So when it comes to relationships, that diplomacy, trying to bring in, the kindness and the love, but there's a balance, the balance in life, the natural alignment, that are you going with things naturally, or are you trying to force things? So, and when you're trying to force things, there might be an unfairness with that. So there might be some sort of unfairness that's happening within your life. Now with Mars coming up, it's, it's looking at that hole. It's trying to smooth it out. It's trying to bring it out, for you at this time. Leos, Leos, scheduling, work, health, sleep, feeling. There's a lot going on there for Leos. I mean, this is where you might be overscheduling yourself, overdoing that yourself, and you're not being able to step into that Leo-ness, right? And have that fun. This is where you might be, nonstop work and a lot of stress related health issues coming in. So things to do with health and wellness, and it's all mundane, all mundane. As one astrologer said, it's like the queen doing her own dishes. Not saying you don't do your own dishes or anything, but it's like, oh, I got to do this again. Oh, this is so much. And just getting overwhelmed with it all. So a lot of Leos, having to continually hold things up, worried about, your scheduling, worried about things being done, and not having time for play, not having time for fun. And that could be very frustrating for my lovely little Leos who want to go out and have fun. Virgos, love, happiness, creativity. This is where, this could be having to do with children. This could be having to do with having children, losing children, working with children, having issues with children. So, a lot to do with that, or your inner child, how you are dealing with your inner child, and having questions, how to express yourself when it comes to love, and how this rules. How do you rule on love? And this is about creativity coming into showing up for love. Are you trying to, um, push aside that what you want, or your desires of what you want, and it's showing up for you, but you're not accepting it? You're not accepting that love. So this is about your truth, your creation, coming into that creative part of yourself, coming into that piece of yourself that maybe you've been put aside since 2020. So look at that, and look at sort of the energies that have been happening in and around you. All right. So this is coming up with that 22 degrees in Capricorn, right? So I'm looking at where Capricorn is in your astrological chart. That's what I'm doing. Libras, emotional baggage. Yeah, emotional baggage. And this has to do about emotional. This has to do about foundation. This is about having to do where you live, your city. Is it the right city? This is the right to life, your support. Do you have the proper support around you? Libras are like, okay, is this really what I want to do? Do I have a foundation? Do I have support in doing what I'm doing? Oh, so many questions when it comes to Libra. And then with Capricorn coming in there for you, that's a lot. That's just blowing things up for you, baby. That's just blowing up for you. And this is where, to start to look at, right? Start to look at these areas of your life, and then it gives you an idea on how to work with it. The thing about astrology, it shows you the energy that's coming forth. It shows you the energy that was. So I'm seeing what was, and where it is now, and how that balances out within your world, within your life. This is all having to do with a death of something. since 2020. So within Capricorn, and within that Saturn and Pluto conjunction that happened, it's about death and resurrection. Saturn is death. Saturn is karma. It's time, looking at that time and that karma that has happened. And then Pluto is that resurrection, that change, the transformation that's taking you to the different spot. But it's the process of going through that. With Mars coming through there right now, it's also having you to really look at the depths of it. What is that depths? What is that untying that needs to be untied? Because here comes the warrior. He's coming in. It's bringing in the warriors who are coming in to clear things out, to smooth things out, to make sure things are working in the proper direction that you need to have working for yourself, for you. This is about you. I'm not going into the collective, or this is about you. Are you going into that direction? Okay. Scorpios. This is indecisiveness. Why can't I make decisions? Communications. Say what you want. The tailored world. Can't talk. Looking at things. Oh my God. Looking at things in a way that you can't really express what you truly want to express. You can't talk about what you truly want to talk about without feeling some kind of oppression or feeling some kind of indiscretion coming in. So are you really allowing yourself to come into your truth? Now, the thing is that with Scorpios do like order. They really do. They have their sense of order. If it gets too messed up in and around, then they can go into their really dark places. And we don't want Scorpios going to the dark place. We don't want Scorpios going to the dark place. Not a good thing. And when things get mucked up, or they're not able to express themselves fully in the way that they need to express themselves, that's where the frustration starts to happen, when things start to feel overwhelmed for them. So really honoring yourself as a Scorpio. Maybe it's, decluttering what it is, decluttering maybe your office, decluttering maybe your friends list on who you have around you. Scorpios are pretty good at doing that when they want to. Sagittarius, I feel like where the Capricorn is in your chart, it has to do with hoarding. Has to do with what you have been hoarding, what you've been hanging on to. And this could be physical or non-physical. Okay. This has to do with your self-worth. To be the great, here it is. To be that great philosopher, that sage, that knowledgeable person, right? So this is when the court comes in, and here we have the jury there, and here comes the philosophy for them all. Here comes that arrow shooting, right? And you should have it, but there is maybe something to do with honoring oneself, or things that haven't been honoring you. And so there's been a hoarding or resentment or something hanging on there, and you are the one thing about Sag is they want to make sure I hope you know that. I want to tell you, let me tell you, and then hanging on to it, right? And this could be to do with beauty issues. There could have been weight gain in this time. So this is really looking into, not like self, not being your true self, not having that true identity of who you are. So really take a look at what have you been really hanging on to a lot of, physical or non-physical. It could be some kind of energy. It could be some kind of people. What have you, you could have been hoarding some people, this is the type of people I want to have, right? And not allowing yourself to express in other areas. So, which would be dampening your spirit, dampening your light, putting that light out. Okay. Capricorns. Caps, you've been going through a lot, and you're still going through a lot because you still have Pluto in there. But this is identity crisis. What action, responsibilities, understanding the changings are being within people, courage, free of taking action, being who I am, finding and freeing of self. This is looking at something solid, identity, doubting, self, courage, action. There's been a lot that's been, Pluto's still there, going through what are those changes? And now with Mars coming into your sign, this is about your identity, on how you're taking action on going forward with things in your life. How are you taking that responsibility for those things in your life? This is very action oriented, and taking that courage. And maybe there's been, where free, the courage for free of taking action may have been restraint. You haven't been able to take that true action that you really wanted to take. And so here comes this Mars energy, and Venus energy is really getting you to really push ahead and take down those walls that have been stopping you from where you want to go. Re-identifying yourself, coming into that identification of who you are as self. Whew. And as we go, and this is also to do, so also with doubting yourself too. So the self, the courage, the action. When it comes to Aquarius, this is loss. This is grieving. You're coming into the 12th house. This is spirituality, the God connection. Weird spirituality. You're wanting to connect, but you're wanting to know where God is. There is a subconscious other side of reality. So when we go into this is going, where what's behind the scenes, what's been happening, what's more to this than meets the eye. Taking that time to really go further than you've gone before. Yet there is feeling that you're isolated, people don't understand. Having it in that 12th house, it's all about that structure, on what you think the structure should be, and it's not. So that feeling of that grief, that loss of direction, of the direction you want to take, the direction of where you want to go, and trying to hold it together. There's a trying to hold it together for the Aquarius. Pisces, bad people. Be over being around bad people, control, social anxiety. 11th house, looking at the communities that you've been around. Maybe you're trying to break free of what was, and now and go into something that's new, not wanting to be associated or affiliated with others that have been a bad influence. So this is really looking at the social anxiety of it, of being accepted. Remember, this is your 11th. This would be in the 11th house. So it's looking at what you have set up before. Now it's all coming to light. Everything's coming up for you that you need to really look at in a deeper level. Look at it within, what kind of control that has been placed over you. What is that control? And it could be physical or non-physical, right? It doesn't have to be a person controlling you, but it could be a situation. It could be a financial situation. It could be an illness that has had this control over you. This is going back and looking at what kind of people have been around you through this time, and what kind of changes that you've been trying to make and maybe not been able to make those changes. That's a lot. Just a little insight I wanted to give to you guys all for each of the signs, because there's a lot for all of us, a wall of anxiety. There is a lot to do with death in each of the areas that we're dealing with, and dealing with that death and transformation. We're dealing with a lot of changes within karma, and how we are identifying that within our own lives and moving forward into a different way, or a different time, because Saturn is time, and how we are initiating this newness within our life. And we want to, because of all the new stories that are going to be coming up for us, and with the moon squaring the sun, and also it's also making some other major squares too. This is really looking at our alignments on our relationships, on how we are dealing with our communications, as Mercury comes out of shadow and squares Uranus, this comes into more of awareness of the direction that we want to go into. And when we have an idea on how that is or how that's working out, as I explained within each of the different signs, we can work with it. We can work with that, of thank you, Michelle. We can work with that transformation that's happening, right? We can have an understanding. When you have an understanding of what it is, when it comes into the consciousness and you're saying, oh shit, that's what it is. That is what my block is. I can keep my heart open because it is so important this year in dealing with the transformations that are happening and keeping your heart chakra open. Also, Dambriite, this is my Dambriite, has been coming in very strongly, and that has to do with the crown chakra, opening up that crown chakra to allow for the communication. But the thing is that you got to keep the heart open so that even though it might not feel like it resonates with you, or it feels incomplete in some way, or you don't like it, you still have to keep it open, because that way it is allowing for things to get healed. It is allowing for this beautiful magical energy to come through, and especially with this new moon that we're building up to. So today, where a lot is coming up, especially with that Mars, but we're building up to a completion with this waning 3/4 square to a new moon that is going to be total transformation and change. This new moon is going to be bringing in a life-changing courses. And this is going to get us to look at things and try things in new ways. It is important for us to be in this light, and it's going to be very difficult because our ego is going to see, it's going to hear, it's going to feel the opposite. We're going to see and feel a lot that's going on within the collective that isn't aligning with how the light is coming in and the transformation is coming in. I really had to sit with this because seeing everything that has been transpiring, especially in Canada over the last little while, then things that are going on over in Europe and things that are transpiring over there, and what's going on in the United States, everywhere. This is where it's like, where is my light? Where is that light? This is what I'm seeing. And I really had to take that centeredness, call in, bring in, like the Dambriite, it seemed it was that in the other room was calling me. Like, I'm like, where is this damn crystal? And it was like, okay, you got to take this in. And are you doing your cleansing? Okay, I got to do my cleansing. Where's the goodness that's happening in your life? Oh, okay. There's some really great things that are happening in my life right now. But there's a rumbling that comes in that's like, oh, is it going to last? And blah, 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 blah. That little voice. I'm just like, but it is. It is. There is a lot of joy that's going on. And I need to embrace that joy. I need to embrace that bliss as it's coming in, because there is this energy, especially with Mars at 22 degrees. It's smoothing over those rough patches, smoothing over all of that we have been going through since 2020, allowing us to step into this new plateau, this new transformation. And this year is going to be a year of great transformation. This year is really going to challenge you in so many ways, in so many depths, that at times you are ready to scream. At times, the anxiety is going to feel like it's going to be so overwhelming that you're just like, what the fuck is she telling me about? She said it'd be great and magical. This is all dumb. It's going to have these challenges, especially when Pluto goes retrograde at the end of April, and it's right near a partial solar eclipse. The only total eclipses that we're going to be having are in lunar eclipses. So we're not going to have the annular eclipses this year, which is going to bring in dramatic changes, because we're going to get a partial scene of it. That means it's going to be like a grain kind of energy. So we're not going to get the total truth. We're not going to get the total truth. The total truth is slowly going to be revealed, but it's not going to be revealed till later. We're going to have to regurgitate things, especially with Pluto, because Pluto is wanting us to look at the truth and the depth of what you want to change to. And are you ready and prepared for that change? Because I will give it to you. And that's what Pluto says. I will give you that change. Are you ready for it? This is, coming to our deeper depths. And this is strong. This is vulnerable. This is emotional. And we're going to feel it with these energies. We're going to feel that. And that's the whole thing, especially with Jupiter and Neptune. We're going to feel it. And Jupiter is going to conjunct in April with Neptune. Then it's going into Aries. That's about direction. I have a Jupiter in Aries and I want direction. I'm going in this direction. I got fire with me. That's about the only fire I got. Well, okay. But this is coming into that direction with the passion that you are wanting to bring it. And Jupiter is coming into that Aries energy in April. Where's the passion? Where do you want to go to? And then it retrogrades back into Pisces. And at the end of the year, it goes back into Aries. So then we come into full steam ahead. But our heart energy, this is coming in. This is where we're going to have shocking, weird things happen. We're going to see it. It's going to blow our mind, especially over the next couple weeks. Things are going to blow our mind. New Neptunian, new energy that's going to be coming in, memory files that are going to be coming in. We're going to be hearing things, and this is going to be where it's like, how do you receive things? How do you feel things? This is coming into your own self, your own depths. How do you feel things? How do you know? What is that knowingness? Is it a sound? Is it a feeling? Is it I smell something and I know that's what it is, and I just sense it? What is it? This is having, and having that light coming in, but there is no words. You're just knowing. How is that knowingness coming in for you and trusting it? This is happening within the next couple of weeks, taking us further along so that we are able to accept the changes as long as we're keeping our heart open. And sometimes that's very hard. It's very difficult because we don't want to keep our heart open. But in keeping the heart open, we're keeping the alignment with the divine to come in. This is allowing for this to come in. So we can do that cleansing and clearing and accept it and coming into our own unique expression. This is on our own unique individual timelines on how this is going to happen. How you express yourself, how you come into your uniqueness is going to be for you in your realm. If anybody knows me, I always ask you, how's it going in your realm? How's it going in your realm? Your realm and my realm are two different realms. They come together when you and I meet, yes. But then you go into your realm and I go into my realm. Those are the two different timelines. What you are experiencing might be different than how I experience. Some things that are going to be experienced together as a collective, definitely. But if you have brothers and sisters, I bet you 10 to 1, they're going to tell you when they're little how their Christmas was. And you're going to be saying, that was the worst Christmas ever. What do you mean it was a great Christmas? What do you mean it was so good? They had a different perception. They might have been in the same house, same mom and dad, same day, together, but they perceived it differently. That's how we're going to have the world. So when we come into it with that open heart and say, okay, I can see where you felt that your day was a horrible day. And they can come in, yeah, I can see how your day was a fabulous day. So you're coming into it and looking at it in a different way. And you're coming into it with a non-judgmental energy. And this is a connection with that inner child because we need to explore and have fun with this. We need to enjoy and have the wonders. That means that, it's like minus stupid outside. And so being minus stupid outside, after I dropped off Mateus and I'm coming home and the sun hit the snow at a certain angle and the snow glistened like a rainbow. And I'm just like, Whoa, that's beautiful. That's absolutely beautiful. So even though it was minus stupid outside, even looking out my window right now, the sun is shining. It's beautiful. It's beautiful, right? So we could find this. We could find that joy. We could find that happiness in many different ways. And it's our emotions. So coming into that divine flow. What is your divine flow? What does it look like? What does it feel like? What does it taste like? One of the oils that came to me today was dill oil. Dill oil. Dill oil. And if you've ever I love it when people are pickling. I love dill. I will take dill and I will just it's just like, oh, this smells so good. That dill smell, I love it. And it is learning and clearing and focus on the task on hand. That's what dill does. Very similar to what rosemary does, but rosemary hits different parts of the brain, and it helps you to release different endorphins, especially if you're feeling low and depressed. Dill helps you to bring in transformations of wounded cellular memory. So if there's a woundedness that is within you, the dill can help to bring forth the transformation of that woundedness and bringing in a clearing and transforming it. So dill is a beautiful transformational essential oil that helps you to really cleanse and clear. So if you are going through, say, a depressional day or a day that a lot's coming up for you, I would put a couple drops. I wouldn't go over 3 drops in a diffuser, but using pure essential oils, a couple drops there. Add that with it. And then if you need to, you can add a little bit of thyme with it, just 1 drop of thyme. I think it's going to be a very, bringing in the extreme, very stringent type of energy. And then I got like a clove coming in. That'd be an interesting mixture. I'm not sure how that's going to smell, but that's what they're showing me. So I'm going to go, or allspice. Sorry, it's allspice. It's not a clove. It's an allspice. Yeah, it's an allspice. So having that and doing that is just, bringing that in. So opening our vibration to the sacred and the sacred knowledge that it's going to be integrated with us, and knowing that will be becoming a part of us, and opening that crown connection. And that's where the Dambriite comes in, because, oh my God, it's heating up like crazy. Energizing our light construct and reorganizing and reconstructing. And it's new and different things, bringing in the new and different things. We're aligning ourselves to new and different things in amongst a world that seems chaotic and downright miserable at times, it feels like. So we're opening up the throat chakra, whew, to thoughts and feelings, speaking truth. See how important it is to stand and communicate out in the open, and bringing in the strength and the telepathic stream. So this is our unique sound in how we need to express ourselves. I know things are going to be coming harder for a lot of us to be able to get our word out. That's one of the reasons why I'm changing to different platforms. And I'm slowly going over to those platforms so people can begin to follow me on those platforms, so that I, continue what I'm doing. I'm not going to stop what I'm doing. Good luck and people shutting me up. I mean, they had a hell of a time when I was a kid to shut me up, because my mother's was like, do you ever be quiet? Are you ever quiet, Mary? And although when I went out in public around other people, the teachers would go, your daughter's so shy. My mother's like, what? She doesn't shut up at home. So that part of me has come out where, no, truth has to come out. The word has to come out in a world that is coming into so many crazy. I got the two of pentacles coming in. He's standing there juggling, and the boats in the background are going in different directions. But still, through all of that, we can do this. We can go through it, because the next is the 3 of Pentacles. Because if you go through the juggling, you go to the 3 of Pentacles, you go to the recognition. You come to the recognition. Who's recognizing you? You are up there on stage. You are being recognized. But you can't get too greedy with that recognition. You can't get too greedy with what you are doing and try and hold it too tight. 4 of Pentacles. So that because when you hold it too tight, you're going to go into the 5 and you're going to go into the despair. The despair, because you're not going to be able to see the light. So you got to take it and you got to understand it and you got to let it shine. You got to let the heart open so you can come into the balance of it all. Again, balance. Balance is key. How do you balance? I know balance is one of those funny words, but how do you go with the ebb and the flow? How do you go with your passion and purpose within your life so that you can go into the newness of your world? Very important to step into that and step into that passion for yourself. So we're strengthening the telepathic streams, also our unique sound, creating a path ahead with our light constructs. This is a very powerful, transformational, and magical year. And let us step into it. I know there's a lot about war. The war is there. I'm not going to deny it. It's not sticking your head up your butt. This is you realizing, yes, it is there. It is happening. What are the energies that I'm going to bring to it? I said for a long time that I kept on feeling I'm in World War II, on the edge or on the cusp of World War II. I've never lived through World War II. I had parents that did, but I personally, obviously, I have not, that I remember. This is where this energy is coming in. But during it, here's the crazy thing, that during the war, wonderful communities were growing. People got together to help one another, to take care of other people's children. This is where people came and learned how to do different farming, different techniques were coming forward. This is where you got to really find a place of sanctuary, a place where you could really truly come into your sovereignty and your uniqueness in many different ways. That was the beauty part of it. The war part was actually horrendous, and we know that. But there was such greatness that came out of that. And that's what we got to step into. We got to step into that greatness. We got to step into that wonder of it. Because there's some great things that can happen through this all. And that's the alignment that we're going through. That's, even when you go to the grocery store and you're like, holy shit. The thing is, and I'm going to tell people right now, buy things that are on sale. Look for the sales. Look for the sales. Right? Go through, this is a time of couponing. This is a time of really being, frugal in what you're doing. So if you're, bring out your Scotsman, bring out your Irishman. This is a frugal time. Look at that, right? This is a time of exploring. Maybe you've never baked before, bringing in some new ways of baking and freezing and all of that kind of stuff. It's a time of exploration. It really is. So it can bring in some really new insights for us all. So on that note, I have to get going. I do have a tarot class that's coming. So if you want more insight on the tarot, just like I just explained, like how the 2 of Pentacles going to the 3, to the 4, to the 5, to the 6, right? So when you get to understand that, you get to like, oh, okay, this is what this, I can feel how this is going. Or what does it mean when I have a whole bunch of wands show up, all this passion, and I'm just overthrown with all this passion? How to look at it and break it down and from step to step. So join me in a tarot class. It's for 5 weeks. It's on Zoom and it's live. It is recorded, so you get the recordings afterwards. But I am live in each class. And that's what I love to do. I love to be live in my classes. I haven't done, I won't say I won't do, but I haven't done where I sell pre-recorded classes because I want the interaction. I want to connect. I want to be with you, whether it's online or it's in person. Right now, it's online. That's okay because I can gather with so many people around the world, and that makes it even more exciting. Yes. So, to all of you, I'm sending you out some good vibrations today. Breathe. Come into your light. Know there's going to be some bumps on the road. It's going to be okay. You're going to get through it because you are all beautiful lights. So may the Lord and the Lady watch over and bless each and every one of you in all that you say, in all that you be, in all that you do. Onward and upward is what I love to say now. Have a blessed one, everybody. And we will talk to you tomorrow. Bye-bye.